It's time for a real fake news update, not brought to you by Pfizer. A bonus segment for you guys today. We wanted to give you guys an update on the situation in New York. We're talking about Mamdani and his winning of the primary in New York City for mayor, and the fact that he's not mayor yet, but the amount of backlash, we covered this last week, guys, the backlash we saw from him, and Trump maneuvering his base to pretend that New York City is about to elect a terrorist sympathizer, communist, radical, lefty, crazy guy, which we know is not true. We actually have the opposite problem. We feel that we have to keep an eye on him because he seems to have signs of a Bernie or a Squad or an AOC who talks a good game. But at the end of the day, he'll go right back to the middle right, where they all end up, middle right. Best case scenario, that's a Bernie, where you're actually right wing, but you're not as bad as the other right wingers in the Democratic Party. Oh, did I just say right wingers in the Democratic Party? Yeah, because we have two right wing parties in our country, two right wing parties. And they have a couple of people who happen to be a little closer to the middle, like a Bernie or an AOC, but they're still right wing. Anyways, with that said, let's look at more propaganda being spewed by ADL's president, CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, on MSNBC about Mamdani and what he expects him to do right now. Or else there will be consequences. Here we go.
If he did what you say, what you suggest, would that take away your concerns about his candidacy? Would that be enough?
Well, look, I mean, I want to hear the plans from all the candidates, not just Mamdani. But considering his, past, he was a student organizer for a group called Students for Justice in Palestine. They're the ones who led the systematic marginalization and targeting of Jews on college campuses.
Okay, let's just break that one down first. Hold on. He led a Palestine for Peace group, which Greenblatt here is saying that group for peace for Palestine is responsible for what? For spewing hate against Jews for the last he's about to say for the last 2 years. That's his big takeaway about a guy being part of a peace movement, a free Palestine movement that he was part of, because the narrative being, if you are for peace for Palestinians, you are inciting hate on Jews. I can't. I know we keep talking about this, but you guys, this is the type of these lies he keeps spewing on all these networks. He was on CNN last week. Now he's on MSNBC doing it. And if you guys think for a second that MSNBC is left leaning, where's the pushback? Where is the freaking pushback here? And say that doesn't sound right. What do you mean that the group for Palestinian rights is the one responsible for causing hate against Jews here in the States for the last 2 years? But please continue.
For the last year and a half. And so when Mr. Mamdani shows up and says again, I think this is a very important point, Caddy. He doesn't get to pick and choose which Jewish people he talks to. He needs to come to us. He needs to meet us where we are. If he could do that, he would allay a lot of concern. But look, this guy, he wants free buses.
Wait, first of all, what do you say? He needs to come to you? Who the hell are you? You're the leader of the ADL, Anti-Semitism, Anti-Semitism Defamation League. Okay. Why does he need to come to you? What is it that when your purpose of your company is to create anti-Semitism in order to push anti-Semitism legislation? That's your purpose. That's what you do. You create, you present what you call anti-Semitism in order to justify litigation to stop free speech. That's your job. So he needs to come meet you to see how he can help you do that more. Do more of that. That's what we need. More creating of what you deem to be hate in order to push more legislation against free speech. That's the best way we can sum it. So again, no pushback from the MSNBC host. No pushback at all, because this isn't journalism. This is propaganda. But continue. What are the horrible things he's up to? What are the horrible things he's up to?
He wants government-controlled grocery stores. He's got a lot of big plans, Caddy. I don't know why, considering his big plans, he's going to need a lot of political capital. He's going to need a lot of allies. I don't know why, again and again and again, he simply won't take this head on, like the Rev said. Kristen Welker did an amazing job yesterday, and he had a chance just to literally put this to rest, Caddy. And like I said at the top, sometimes the things we don't say are actually the loudest. That's what people hear. So that.
Oh, the things we don't say are the loudest. So the things, again, to be most afraid of are the things in your own head that make you afraid. For example, Palestinians want to kill all the Jews because they want freedom and they want from the river to the sea. And so there's a whole list of things that people are conditioned to when they listen to this garbage about the thing to be most afraid of is the thing you can't see, the thing that isn't being said, the thing that so your fear is the worst thing. So again, this is why a guy like this, why a group like this, it aligns with a company like Palantir, aligns with a company that's going to go target individuals, put them on a database. And the crime is the thing that you're not doing, the thing you mean to do. We're going to commit a genocide because you would be doing it if you could. So we're going to stop you because you wanted to do one. And we feel like you did. So the thing not being done, the thing not being said is the problem. Not the actions you're taking, not the actions the IDF are taking, not the actions the U.S. government and the U.S. budget is taking by funding a genocide. Those actions, those aren't the problem. The biggest problem is the thing not being said and the thing not being done. Those are the biggest problems we face. And then we can say whatever we want to say it is because it's all in our head and it's all based on feelings. And that's what anti-Semitism, when you quote unquote fight anti-Semitism, that's what you're fighting. You are fighting with paranoia, with fear, with nothing substantial other than I feel like this. And that's mainly what the campaign is. So now I just had to change the setting. Now what Jonathan Greenblatt is attempting to do is make Mamdani the specific target in this, as he's been doing to all the Palestinian protesters. Now Mamdani himself, he is the guy committing the crime. That's where this is going. You think I'm over-exaggerating? Let's see how he finishes up. And I'm going to show you Trump's response to this, because that's the area we're going to now. The things that Mamdani is not doing is now the crime. That's the crime, because it feels like it is. It feels like he's going to cause damage and cause hate and cause horrible things. So the feeling is enough to go on to call him a criminal. Why not? Why stop at the protesters? Why stop at revoking visas? Why stop at taking away rights of citizens who show that they mean to bring harm? We feel like you're meaning to bring harm on our country, so we're going to revoke your citizenship. Why stop there? Why not elected officials too? Why not? It feels like you're going to do something. So that, as Jonathan Greenblatt says right here, that is the worst crime of all, is the thing he's not doing or not saying. Ooh, what else is Mamdani not saying and not doing? Please tell us more.
That's what the Jewish community right now is struggling with. Reform people and observant people, liberal people and conservative people, at a time when anti-Semitism has surged to record levels. The idea of a candidate who won't clearly and unambiguously say, here is my plan, I am with you, leaves a lot of us deeply, deeply troubled.
Okay, well, if he's been watching Morning Joe for the last 3 minutes, he will have heard that message loud and clear. Let's see if he reaches out. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you very much for joining us.
And thank you for not doing journalism, because all you just did was say, well, let's hope he's listening and he can do the thing you just told him to do. I'm not going to push back at all. I got nothing to say. I got no questions for you. I got no concerns for you. I'm not confused about anything. Everything you said makes total sense. And if he's listening, hopefully he'll respond. If he doesn't respond, then I guess you were right the whole time. He's a piece of shit who his non-action is the biggest problem. So what is going on with the policies? Because from what we hear, Fox News is no longer Fox News, who's going to be, in this case, worse than Morning Joe, MSNBC. But what's the difference? It's all the same. But they sometimes it seems like they're much worse. In this case, they have gone from putting up his policies. Now they're being told not to put up his policies. This is a screenshot of Fox News. You're not going to see his actual policies on the network anymore. Trump has told them, do not show his policies anymore. We're just going to we don't want people to know, because these are looking kind of good when you talk about freezing rent, building affordable housing, talking about affordability, city-owned grocery stores, so that you can't be taken advantage of anymore by these Amazon and Kroger monopolies. He's not shutting those down. You can still shop at Whole Foods all you want. Go for it. Go spend $100 on lunch at Whole Foods. Go for it. But having an option of city-owned grocery stores, ooh, communism, ooh. So you got the labor one. Let's look at the labor. Raising minimum wage. Oh my God, horrible person doing that. And ending ICE cooperation. This is this is something that they don't want to throw up on the screen anymore. Okay, we're not going to see it anymore. Let's hear what Trump's actual response is to this, though. Let's see what he thinks of Mamdani and what he's going to do about it. Again, the guy is not elected yet. He's only won a primary. He still has to go through the general election to be New York City mayor. So this is preemptive striking. This is what we do best. We love preemptive striking. We got to do it. We got to get them before they get us. So take it away, Trump.
Your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zohran Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zohran Mamdani.
He said he won't cooperate with ICE, but he's not actually going to be able to do anything about this AI shit, this AI technology, ICE stuff. He's just not going to cooperate. That's what he said. Just to be clear, he said, I'm not going to cooperate with ICE. But whatever, you can say that, he's going to obstruct ICE. No, he said, I'm not going to cooperate. There's a difference, by the way. There's a difference. Just to be clear. So if you don't think there's a difference to that, then why not just tell us what it was? But there's a reason you told it to us differently, because those are different things. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we...
Whoa. I'm sorry. Did he just say we'll have to arrest him? And then he followed that up with, we don't need a communist in this country. Did we not live through this shit already? Did we not live through the tell us names? You're blacklisted from Hollywood. You're blacklisted. Did we not live through this with the communists? The who's a communist? You better tell on your neighbor or we'll come get you. That's pretty insane. We're talking about arresting a not even elected leader yet, elected mayor, arresting him for. Did you suggest arresting him for being a communist? Are you freaking kidding me right now?
We have one I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way,
you send money to every mayor in every country. Don't act like he's some special exception. You'll probably be less cooperative with him. As you just said, I will be watching him closely. Okay. Again, we have a different problem here. Our problem is that he's going to go center right. That's what our problem is. So this bullshit about he's this lefty radical. This is not real. This is not real. If Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are snuggling up to him right now, it's because he's willing to bend over to them, to the establishment Democrats who are neoliberals, who are right-wing people that their policies are right-wing. They always have been, at least through our lifetimes. There is no lefty stuff going on. There's the woke shit that they all love to just position themselves and pretend that we're with the rainbow group. Those aren't lefty policies. So the stuff he put on that was on the screen, the Fox News put up, those are what you consider lefty policies. Yes. How is he going to get any of that done? No, he's not going to get any of that done. He's not going to be able to get any of it done. Okay, so that's Trump's response. But the fact that he even suggested arresting him, this is a huge problem. So there's been a reaction. I just want to throw this up. This is Mamdani reacting to Trump's attack, and that was an attack. When you're talking about arresting a New York mayor or a primary winner of the Democratic Party, winner of the mayor of New York City, and you're talking about arresting him for being a fill in the blank, being a what? Being a communist. I don't agree. I'm calling you a communist. He doesn't call himself by the way, he doesn't call himself a communist. You're calling him that. And then you're saying we'll arrest you for that. Let's see how Mamdani responds to that attack. Okay. The president has just threatened me to have me arrested, stripped of my citizenship, put in a detention camp, and deported. Not because I have broken any law, but because I will refuse to let ICE terrorize our city. His statements don't just represent an attack on our democracy, but an attempt to send a message to every New Yorker who refuses to hide in the shadows. If you speak up, they will come for you. We will not accept this intimidation. That Trump included praise for Eric Adams in his authoritarian threats is unsurprising, but highlights the urgency of bringing an end to this mayor's time in New York and City Hall at the very moment when MAGA Republicans are attempting to destroy the social safety net, kick millions of New Yorkers off of health care, and enrich their billionaire donors at the expense of working families. It's a scandal that Eric Adams echoes this president's division, distraction, and hate. Voters will resoundingly reject it in November. Okay. Well, it's good that he called that out, but I think the biggest takeaway from that is exactly what this represents, and that is if they can come for you, they can come for him, they can come for you. They can come for me. And when are we going to get it through our thick skulls that we have to be for free speech, especially for our enemies or people we disagree with or people we don't even want to be in a room with? We have to be for their free speech too. We have to. That's when it counts. It's easy to be for free speech when it's somebody you agree with. That's easy. That's easy because them talking helps you. So I'm for it. Oh, yeah. You should be able to speak because I agree with you. When you disagree, that's when it's important. So I am urging anyone out there who vehemently disagrees with Mamdani on all of his policies. You think he's a communist? Fine. Think away. That's fine. But you, more than anyone, is what's needed right now. You are needed to speak up for someone you dislike. You hate his policies. You hate who he is. But he has a right to be in this country, run for mayor, and he has a right to win the mayoral election in November. He has a right to win a fair election. And if you think that him getting deported, getting his U.S. citizenship revoked, whatever the consequence that Trump is threatening, if you think that's going to help you because you're shutting up somebody who you disagree with, that's not going to be the outcome here. The sad outcome, it always is this way, is they will come for you next. You will be the next target or somebody that you do agree with. At the minimum, somebody you agree with will be the next target. And you'll go, oh, wait, why are you shutting them up? Because you already set a precedent. And I'm talking to you, January 6ers. I'm talking to you. You should have learned your lesson. You should have learned your lesson, what free speech, being silenced, and your right for protest, your right to show up to the Capitol and protest an election was stripped from you. You should recognize, and people like us, we got your backs and we didn't necessarily agree with what you were saying, but we fought for the right for you to say it. So just know that, how important that is. And those are the voices that are needed right now. The MAGAs, the diehard MAGAs, even if you love Trump on everything he's doing now and you don't have any complaints, though, if you're going to have one complaint, this is the one. This is the one. Because then you can agree with him on everything you want. But this is the one where you go, wait a minute. Did you just say you're going to arrest a mayoral primary winner in New York City? The Democratic candidate? Did you just say that? That's what law did he, like, as he stated in his response, what law did he break? What crime did he commit? So just ask yourself that. We need your voices right now. That's important. Just like I know it was important that we spoke up during January 6th, and we did. And we can say wholeheartedly that we were on the right side with that, because it's easy to be consistent on principles if you just apply them every time. It's very easy, guys. Very easy. Not hard. It's very easy to get things right. If you only care about being consistent, you can get things right. You're going to get really mixed up really quickly with all your maneuvering if your number one goal is that your team wins. You're not going to be able to get to the place you think you're going to get to, because you're going to be all over the place, contradicting yourself, just being a self-made hypocrite within trying to maneuver to get to that destination. So don't be that person. Be the consistent, principled person that can spot BS when they see it, even if it's against someone they can't stand. Speak up. That's all. Speak up. Okay. That's your real fake news update. Not brought to you by Pfizer.